Hi all, welcome back to more Unconditional Surrender. This is training scenario 4. This is my part 7. And I think we're just about to start the next turn, aren't we? I've not got anything marked, which is daft. I mean, I do have that sequence of play flowchart here, but I should leave something, some kind of marker on it to say, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're at. Yeah, I remember one of the last things doing is moving that airdrop marker into the events, the Axis events part. So now they don't have the, do they? Yeah, I think to do the amphibious assault you need the, there it's there, surprise attack marker. We don't get that until January 1940, so I don't think we can get across to Norway. I think we need that. So that's definitely what you use in the training scenario, don't you? You put that in that sea zone, and it gives you an amphibious assault and whatever. Although I suppose we could start getting prepared for that. I think that's probably what we need to be doing. Is getting what we can moved across. Well, we've got to remember the home defence thing and whatever. Yeah, I got a little comment from Stuart, who's followed some of my videos previously. He was commenting on part 4, which is the one, is that the latest one that I've released? This is part 7, so I like to watch my videos back, see if I can catch any errors myself before sending them out there. I'm not that well keyed up with the rules in this game, so they might well slip by me as well, like after watching back. That's not impossible as well, but I like to catch them myself if I can. I mean, I can hopefully alter them in time. Sometimes things move on and you don't keep up with things, and you end up having mistakes that you've just got to let go, or you try and muddle around them in some other way. Anyway, I'm guessing it was my talk about the Polish unit coming into Eastern Prussia here. Well, it was in part 4, and I think that's a bit I just watched back. So when I was talking about trying to get up and surround the German unit, I think, or even talk about taking Königsberg because it was open, and then thought, well, it's a German-owned country, East Prussia. It's part of Germany, but I mean, they've declared war on me, so I mean, why wouldn't I be allowed to go in their country? But I felt like there was something that wasn't allowing me to do it. And Stuart said that because of the appeasement rule that they can do it. And I get that, but I thought the appeasement had finished, so I'm not sure. That was my reply to him, but whether he's going to come back and tell me something that I may have missed. Now, what was it? 10 point something. Appeasement ends. Yeah, it says, hang on. Appeasement, it says, an Axis, no. A Western counter cannot move, retreat, trace a path, nor be placed into an enemy country. So, if this is an enemy country, that Polish unit couldn't have went in it while appeasement was in place. But it says appeasement ends when one of the following occurs. The Axis faction declares war against the Western faction, which is what I've done. So my take on that is that the appeasement policy is not in place anymore. The Nazi-Soviet pact policy is in place, however. So does that give us anything? Neither the Western faction nor Soviet faction can declare war, right? I knew that. But the Nazi-Soviet pact faction doesn't restrict Western units from moving about. So I don't know. I still feel like there is something stopping me, and whether I'm missing something there or not. We'll see if Stuart comes back with any more, or if we find out any more about that, then we shall see. But I'll move on for now. Yeah, I haven't had any other major comments on anything, so I mean, there's not an awful lot happened, but And like I say, no news is usually good news. So as to I'm getting things right and nothing's going majorly wrong, but okay, so right, well, let's just start the turn then. That's the start of the turn, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because that was one of the last things I remember doing, is putting that airdrop marker in. Yeah, and we also mobilised the unit that got put in the eliminated units box when that was a conditional thing. Yeah, okay. Okay, so weather phase. Well, yeah, we're going to roll on this, aren't we? So let me get that other chart out. Okay, so there we go. Oh, I need the other dice loaded up. Yellow, blue and green, which matches the colours of the zones. And we are in November. Yeah, we're in November, and you might say, well, how do you remember? Well, I've not adjusted yet. So it depends if the last weather in October was fair in the cold zone, we'd roll on that one, and poor or severe, well, it's still got the weather markers up. So you can see that it was severe in the cold zone, severe in the mild zone, and it was poor in the warm zone. So they determine which one takes effect. So I'll roll the 3 dice and we'll see what we get. I think like I say, getting a 1 here. If it was fair weather, we're not ready to do anything yet. I don't think. So like high numbers again. Okay, so a 3, a 5, and a 6. 3, a 5, and a 6. Well, better getting the bad rolls out of the way now then, if they don't matter. So yeah, I'll just look up at what we had before. So in the cold zone we had severe before. So looking at the bottom line there, and a 3 is going to make it poor. So I'll adjust that one to poor. And then in the mild zone we had severe as well, and we've rolled a 5. There was a 1 or 2 chance, isn't there? So it's poor. It's not severe, so it's poor. Not quite so bad. And in the warm zone we had poor the last time, which is the middle row there, and we've got a 6, which leaves it poor as well. So everything's poor actually. They're all marked poor. So, all right, next phase, declare war. Well, Germans don't want to declare war on anybody yet. Like I say, I dare say we could have been going into Denmark before we get that surprise attack marker. But we need a couple more units, I think. Get these guys back to full strength and whatever. So maybe next turn, and ideally if they want the weather fair, but over the course of the next few months it's unlikely to get fair. So we'll not declare war. Well, sorry, the Axis won't declare war, and the Western faction cannot declare war. Because of the Nazi-Soviet pact still in play. Right, economy phase. So there'll be not a lot change, will there? So still 13 factories. Yeah, nothing changes regarding that. We take, hold on. I tell a lie, do we not gain... Yeah, stop a minute. No, I think Poland loses a factory, doesn't it? Because the Soviet Union get this half of Poland and they get Brest. And the Germans, I don't know, Polish corridor. I'm not sure what that bit is. Is the wee bit there, the red dotted line down to there, and it says Polish corridor, which I'm assuming is in that area there. That part must belong to Germany. So what about the rest of Poland here? Is it just still belong to Poland? And does that matter? I don't think... Yeah, but when you do seed when you do seed things, you do, that's the one time that you do see that Poland's in that Polish corridor. I think we get that factory, and I think the Soviets would get that factory, and the other factory that's there remains, which is Warsaw, which I think that just remains part of Poland. So I don't think anybody benefits from that. But because these areas are ceded, that one for the Soviets and that one for the Germans, I think that's just when you gain. Now where would I find that? Well, what was the ceded marker? We got Polish corridor, wasn't it? Let me see if I can find a bit on that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do get this. Oh, I'm looking at this. I do have my tablet here because, you know what, I keep saying it, but I think I should just print this out. Start getting it printing at least. And I've got one of the folders where I can put all the pages in. And what is that? 9.12 factory count. Yeah, there's nothing in blue in that area anyway. But it says there, to determine a country's factory count, count the number of friendly factories in its own mainland and overseas areas. Remember to count factories in disputed areas that were ceded to it. So we were ceded that one factory. So I'm pretty sure that does give us an extra factory. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know, because I looked into that a bit, because I wonder when you conquered countries, did you gain their factories? I mean, because, like we say, Warsaw, we just conquered that, there's a factory there, you don't gain that, but however, if the country is ceded to you, then, and it has any factories in that ceded area, then you benefit from them. So I'm going to give us that, somebody come up with me if I've got that wrong. So factory count goes from 13 to 14 now. And then so production doubles up from 14, doubled up to 28. The French are still on 8, so they have 16, nothing changed there. The British are still on 9, which is up to 18. And no Polish anymore, so... Okay, that's economy done. Strategic warfare phase, well, still no factory loss markers yet. Yeah, I'm still not sure the condition. The only time that I played it with that, they just came into play off the map, but I wonder what brings them in. It's when the West invaded policy. No, condition. Yeah, it's when the West invaded conditional event kicks in. So when the Axis move into the Netherlands, Belgium, France or the UK, after that, after their operations phase, then that West invaded condition triggers, and one of the parts of the condition are strategic warfare. Take the UK factory loss marker from its faction cards conditional box and put it in on-map factory count tracks 1 box. Also, if the German factory loss marker is not on the map, take it and put it in the 1 box as well. Yeah, okay. So that's going to happen it's not going to happen until we invade, move into one of the countries. Okay. So production sorted, no strategic warfare, strategic movement. Right, well, we should be able to, can we not benefit from this time? Yeah, I think so. No, have we foolishly, because did they need to start on a railroad? Yeah, see, this guy, he'll not be able to. Oh, that's a 2nd Panzer unit as well. That's the one we need to move. Really? Oh, mind you, I only need to leave 3 of these here, so I've got 1 spare infantry unit as well, haven't I? So, let's see, check if any friendly country is not satisfying the home defence policy. 10.31. Remove strategic move marker from the map, put in the events box. Remove any unit or marker if required in the scenario. I don't know, let me have a look at this. Right, so yeah, this is where you check the home defence to make sure you're still satisfying it, and if you're not, I think you move units to satisfy it. We are satisfying both the east and the west side of it. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. We looked at it before, don't we? We need 2 air units, 3 field ground units in the area involved, and as long as Poland was one of the countries, as long as they're in Poland in the east, and in the west, all the units are actually adjacent to the border. Do they need to be adjacent to the border for it? Talking about the west units there, you can see that every one of them is adjacent to the border of France or Belgium or Netherlands. Whereas I don't have my Polish units adjacent to the Soviet border. Sorry, the units that are in Poland. I didn't think it was quite as restrictive as that though. 10.31, let's have a look again. Now, let's just have a glance at this again. There is quite a bit of stuff in blue here, but it's not really that relevant, I don't think. Yeah, I can't keep doing this, can I? I can't keep wanting to play with the up-to-date rules and looking at the older version, or things are going to go wrong. I suppose I thought, while I was doing this training scenario, it's not such a big deal. If I was to sit down and start the full game, then different story maybe. Okay, German East Front. This is the home defence. Sorry, this is the home defence part. 10.31. So Germany must keep at least 2 of its air units and 3 of its field ground units within any of the following locations. All units do not have to be in the same country. Yeah, so they can be spread about as long as there's 2 air and 3 ground. Yeah, I mean, they only need to be in their countries. They don't need to be on the border. So that's fine. East Prussia, Lithuania, well, we're not going to get into Lithuania. Did the Soviets not cede that one? Yeah. So, East Prussia is part of Germany, and then Poland, well, we've just took Poland, or USSR. Okay, so I could be in Poland and the USSR and satisfy the East Front part. Right, okay. Yeah, I suppose, if we're going to go in there eventually. Okay, so, I mean, most of the units are in Poland. They're all sitting in Poland, that's fine. So, and then the other option is in Germany, but in a hex having a border with the country listed above. That's actually worded slightly different. It says, no, hang on. Yeah, the wording's been changed to Germany in a hex sharing a land border, and it references the rule 1.34 with a country listed above. So they could be in there as well, but that's satisfying that. So the ones at the west then, is it any different? Germany must keep at least 2 of its air units, 3 of its field ground units within any of the following locations. All units do not have to be in the same country. So Belgium, Great Britain, Denmark, mainland France, including France or Vichy, Netherlands or Norway, well, none of them are in there. They're all still in Germany. So over the page, and that's why they have to be in the border. Because they can be in Germany in a hex having a border with a country listed above. Right, okay. So that's why because the only option for them is Germany on the west side, they need to be adjacent. So we cannot move them away from the border until we invade. Then we can push into the other countries like Netherlands, Belgium, France. Yeah, okay. Good, okay, right, I'm getting the grip of that then. So that makes sense. Alright, so coming back to the strategic movement then, just to check this. It allows one friendly supplied air or ground unit to move any distance along a contiguous transport line. So in this phasing factor does the following. Step 1, if the home defence policy, right, we've looked at that. Step 2, it removes its strategic move marker, if any, from the map and puts it in its events box. That means if you used it last turn, you would take it off the map, put it in your events box, and it's ready to go. If required as per scenario instructions, it removes any of its units or markers. Right, I don't know what that means, and there's no instructions telling me to do that, so that's fine, we'll skip by that. It may put a strategic moon marker on one friendly supplied air or ground unit in a hex containing a transport line. Dope. Right, so we need to move that tank. Well, we're going to move it anyway, but yeah, that was poor finishing then. Okay, well, these are things to learn, aren't they? That hex can contain an enemy zone of control. The unit then performs strategic movement 4.12. The strategic movement marker stays on the unit until next turn. And then the procedure as may move any distance from hex to hex across hex sides that are connected by a transport line. When done, keep the strategic movement marker on the unit. Important. It's always worth a look at the important parts. Each hex enter must be able to trace a supply line back to a supply source. Okay, so that is quite important, and maybe something you maybe wouldn't think about. More than likely going to get that, but there could be occasions. If the supply line is traced across a C zone or map box, it cannot be intercepted and the convoy used is not activated. Just confirm that a valid supply line can be traced. Okay. And then there's some prohibitions. A naval unit cannot use strategic movement, and unit cannot enter or cross a ground movement prohibited hex or hex side. A unit cannot enter an enemy city, fort, or zone of control. However, it can start in an enemy zone of control. The movement cannot violate stacking limits. Now you can move through units, but you just can't end your move on top of a unit, like a ground unit. Well, unless you're a ground unit and it's an air unit, or as long as it's not violating stacking limits. There's no strategic movement across a Z zone or map box. Limitations. Cannot be activated. Its factions, actions, subphase. It can be attacked or displaced in enemy action subphase. It suffers no combat penalty for having a strategic movement marker. Cannot be improved. So it cannot be improved in the replacements phase. So that's something to consider if you were, if I wanted to strategically move one of these guys, for instance. Then come the replacement phase, I wouldn't then be able to flip him over to his full strength side. So, something to remember. Cannot be replaced in the upgrade phase as well, so it cannot be upgraded. Cannot occupy a fort at the end of the movement, so it can't move into a fort and just can move into the fort hex, but it wouldn't be able to occupy the fort. Okay, and then it gives you an example, which I'm not going to go through. So, okay. Right, so we can't move that Panzer because he's the only one that's not on a transport line. Maybe I should try and get him then. Oh no, I've just said I can't move the Panzer, Grant. Well, what we'll do is we'll use this Panzer. I'll move this Panzer up to that area. And we'll use this, and we'll have this and the Panzer unit sort of waiting to go into Denmark. Okay, so the other infantry unit then, doesn't really matter which one. So we've got our strategic movement, which is in our events. There it's there, so I'm going to just pop that on. I don't know, that guy's in Warsaw. You feel like I should leave him there. So let's get this 4th infantry army back. Remember, we need to leave 3 of these. 3 of these here. 1, 2, 3. So I can take this one away. And basically just transport it right along. Probably just right along to Dusseldorf here. Yeah. So he comes right along the railroad, right around, and then ends. This is an air unit, so that's fine. So I'm going to end him. Yeah, I'll put him on top of the air unit, and then I'll generally leave the air units on top, but because that's strategic move markers there, so move him right along to there. And that way now we only need to get this Panzer moved, but at least he's got better movement. To be honest, I can move on 10x's and then next turn strategically move on probably. Okay. Now over the Western faction, they could do the same. They could strategically move somebody, but they've nobody to do that with. So let's skip by that. So now into operations. Okay. Well, there shouldn't be an awful lot to do here, really, should there? Well, let's deal with the Panzer unit first. So let's activate the second Panzer. That cost me 2 points. And let's just get him in. We want him along ready at the west side of things as well. Yeah, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, yeah, he's going to get in the way. Well, why don't you move him first, Grant? Not that it matters about getting in the way, but I suppose that looks like a good hex to end in Berlin, doesn't it? Right, so I'll activate that guy first, so for the 2 points. So I think if Kiel, that's on this side as well, isn't it? Right. And that's a straight, so that costs extra 2 movement, I think, to cross. You can see between that hex and that hex, although there's a bit of land, the hex side is completely water, isn't it? Yeah, so I can't move from there to there. I don't believe. So the only way into Denmark. Well, actually, no. You can be in this hex, Grant. What are you talking about? I wonder if I put the tank in though. I mean, if we end, what's the weather likely to be next month? So next month is December, is it? Doesn't sound like it's going to be good, is it? Well, it cannot be fair unless we're in the warm zone. So the best you're going to get is poor. So the tanks do still benefit. You do still get a +1 for being poor, but if it ends up being severe, then you're not getting them at all. So it's wonder. You get the feeling that I think in the training scenario, there's no panzers involved. So, and to make the crossing, I want to say it needs to be an infantry unit, maybe. Well, just move them up a little bit, Grant, and then you can just leave them sort of standing by. Why not in Kiel then? So 1, 2, 3, and then set him in there, and then if he decides to move in, it costs 2 to cross the strait, I think. But I could be in that hex. But what I'm probably going to do is move one of the infantry units into that hex, I think. Right, let's just leave him there in Kiel then. Sorry, I don't know if I showed you his movement from Berlin, but anyway, there's plenty to get him there. Right, and then, right, so while I'm there then, I might as well spend 1 and move this 6th infantry unit into Kiel. So, and my belief is it costs 2 to cross the strait, like I've said a few times now. It says +2 straight hex side. So that's +2 on top of the clear hex. That would cost 3 movement to movement in there. But I think I'm probably better putting the infantry in there rather than the panzers. So I'll just put him in there, and that'll be that. Yeah. Okay. And then Right, so coming back to move the 2nd Panzer now, so I will activate him now, so spend 2 points to move him, probably just to Berlin then, like we said. Although I could have brought him down the other road, I think they want to be further up the north at the Netherlands, Belgium end. So yeah, so I'll probably just put them in Berlin then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's it. And we can't move either of these three, or we can't move these aircraft out of Poland or East Prussia, or they need to be some. Well, actually, that guy's not in Poland. Ooh, but he's. You know what? He's on the border of Germany and Poland, so that's okay as well. Yeah, so all them are in legal hexes, I think, for the home defence, I believe. And then the other, well, I might just leave this guy here in case we want him up there as well. So I think I'll leave him there. And then I'm not touching any of that. So I think that's me done. Yeah, and supply, no issues with supply. Everyone can trace supply back to a German city. Yeah, no problems there. Right, over at the Western faction, again, I don't think they're going to do anything. Yeah, I keep talking about bringing the BEF across, but I don't think there's any need to be doing that yet. And plus, I'd probably like to delay it a little so I can read up a little bit more rules on that. Some of the transport stuff and amphibious assault and tracing supply across the sea, that does confuse me a little at times. I think I've got it, but I sometimes doubt myself. For instance, surface ships can trace their own supply. They don't need a convoy. I don't think they incur authority to do it, or maybe they do. See, yeah, there's some fiddly bits in there, so I won't move that down just now because I don't think there's not an urgency to do it. So that's the Germans had their move, and the Western faction are just going to decline to do anything. So that's that. So moving on, I'm going to just take a quick pause for now though, and I'll be back shortly. Right, that's me back. That was us finished operations, eh? Right, no supply phase, none of that. Replacement phase. Yeah, the Axis are going to get rid of these last two sorties of the 1st and the 4th Luftwaffe. That will cost 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down to 17. Oh, and they're going to repair these guys, aren't they? So he'll flip over. And he'll flip over. They're both infantry units. Leg, field, ground units. So it costs 1 for each of them as well. So spend their R2 down to 15. That's fine. Only need to have 5 left over for the diplomacy. And that's it, isn't it? And then the western side have nothing to replace. Again, down in Alexandria, I believe there should have been some supply tracing going on where a convoy will be taking a sortie and then now it would be removing it, I think. But I don't think we need to deal with any of that, so they're not going to do anything else. Well, unless I do decide to bring the Western Desert Force when we invade. To be honest, I probably should, because we know this scenario is only that, which is a wee bit, is that a wee bit gamey, whereas you normally wouldn't bring them out of there, I suppose. Oh, we'll see. It's really just to learn and understand about this. So that was replacements. Upgrade, there's nothing to upgrade yet. Mobilisation, spend production. Oh yeah, that's the other reason we needed mobilisation. Production points, sorry. Was to mobilise, because we do have mobilising unit. So a unit in here is put on the map when brought in the mobilisation phase. So we are going to bring this guy in. Is that in the... Oh yeah, it's in the production step as well. Hang on. I'm not sure if we've done this already or not. Did we? I think we did. So mobilisation, that's where we're at, and this is a reduced leg ground unit, because that's how it comes in. It doesn't. Oh, this is just a. Yeah, it is just a garrison, so it can't. Well, they come in reduced anyway, unless they're Soviet. That's why it's got mobilise a full strength USSR leg ground unit, and then it's not close to the same amount. It's just they get to come in full side up. We get to come in reduced side up, and well, this was reduced anyway. So it cost me another 1 point for that, so down to 14. And well, we know, yeah, we did do that before, didn't we? Because it's got to come in at a mainland German country, city, sorry. So, and we don't need to be satisfying anything. Maybe just bring it into Frankfurt then. It's going to get involved. That's one of the garrison ones with Grant, remember, so it's not going to be full strength, so it's just going to be on the defence, really, isn't it? Maybe you don't want that down there. Well, yeah, you don't want it too close to the action, so I was thinking I probably don't want that defending against standing up to one of these forts, though. Because although the forts can't attack you, the units under them can come out of them and then attack. And if it was attacking a reduced infantry unit, I'll leave it in Frankfurt. Voila. Yeah, because they don't count for the home defence, do they? It did say field ground unit, didn't it? And they're not. They're garrison units. So they're more for taking things once we've sort of. Well, actually, that might well be involved in coming up in here to protect once we. If we take like Aalborg or Copenhagen, that's probably where I want to put that. So I'm going to put it up in Hanover. Or you could put it in Hamburg. Yeah, let's put it in Hamburg. Right. Okay. Done. But that was mobilisation. So now on to diplomacy. Right, and it kind of went a bit disastrous for the Axis last turn, didn't they? First turn we each drew a no event. Second turn the Axis drew a no event. The Western faction drew a political success, and then the Soviets drew an area seized. So, and the political success took away the pro-Axis marker we had in Hungary, wasn't it? However, the Germans are still going to dig into the cup, I think. There's still 2 political successes and one of their pro-Axis markers, remember. So they're going to spend 5, that takes them down to 9 points. And we're going to draw something out the cup. Stretch across there and at range, not looking. Dig in here, see what we get. Pro-Axis, good. Well, that was really good because that's a better one to have got. Right, now, I'm not sure how that works compared to political success. It's something similar. I want to say it's not exactly the same though. Right, been on pause here for another few hours, I'm afraid. So just try to catch up on where I was. We had just drawn, as the Axis, we had drawn this pro-Axis marker out the cup. So I was just having a look at what happens. Basically, this applies a political success, but it's not one that's got the restricted part, although it wasn't unrestricted either. I don't think. I don't know what the unrestricted one was. I'll just shut the tablet down as well. Give me a sec. Okay, my understanding is it's not restricted or it's not unrestricted. I'm not quite sure how you get an unrestricted one. So I don't think it's either one of them. So it's it's just a normal one, so I can use the... Basically it says 14, you apply it as a political success. And the political success needs to be, Yeah, I'm looking in my rule book here, but it's a neutral country that has no pro-faction marker in it and shares a land border with an active friendly country. I'm just reading that from my rule book, but none of that. I think that's the same. And if it's Western, you've got the Seas one bit. Well, it's not Western. So we can pick an adjacent country adjacent to Germany or Poland. Because I think now Poland are a friendly country. That must be right, yeah? So, and put this pro-axis marker on it. So this is where we could pick Italy, isn't it? Yeah, were we able to pick Italy that last time? No, the last time we were picking, it had to be adjacent to Poland as well as adjacent to Germany, didn't it? And that's why we picked Hungary here, which is adjacent to Germany and adjacent to Poland. So we could pick Hungary again, but you've got more options this time. We could actually pick, I think, Romania was adjacent to Poland. Not Bulgaria or Yugoslavia or anything like that, however, but we could pick out Italy, couldn't we? Now the thing with Italy is the change in the rules means that Italy requires 3 of these, so the chances of that are going to be a little slimmer, aren't they? The thing is, I'm remembering from playing it previously, if I take Hungary, they can't move into Germany, I don't believe. So if they're going to be of any benefit to us in the West, shall we say, then they're going to have to come along, but that's going through, is that going through Italy then? Yeah, they would have to then go through Italy, so they probably can't do that as well. But I don't believe they can travel through Germany. I seem to remember that being something you weren't allowed to do. Not quite sure what the reason for that was. Maybe we'll find out a bit more about that. So in this scenario in itself, it's probably not going to help us much. But knowing that we need that to be part of one of the win conditions, maybe we should just pick Hungary again. Like I say, it's not really going to help with anything else, is it? Whereas if we did pick Italy, Italy could move into France and help with things, but the chances of us activating Italy are obviously a little tougher, aren't they? Will we give it a go? Because when we take over the Netherlands and Belgium, remember, when you take over a country, you get to put one of these in the cup. So that's good. Am I not also right in saying that if we take Denmark, we've got the chance of putting a pro marker in Sweden? Because that's adjacent, isn't it? Or you could, I suppose you could put it, well, I don't know if Norway is classed as adjacent though. But I think the idea is to take Norway though, isn't it? Denmark, Norway, they're obviously the easiest ones to go and get, aren't they? I don't know. If I want to just go Hungary again and yeah, you know what? I think for this scenario, if I was playing the main game right now, then I probably would pick Italy and try and get them involved. I'm just going to pick Hungary again, so we'll put that in Budapest. Okay. So now, excuse me, the Western faction. Well, let's have a look in the cup. What's still there? I don't know if you can see or not, but there is 2 no events, 1 area C's, 2 political successes, and a political failure. But remember, the Western faction could choose to put one of these back into the cup, and whenever you pick one, you also add a no event. And also, you could actually target a no event as your 1 and then it would have to trigger and you would have to place a no event as well. I don't know, there's still 2 political successes in there, so I think they're going to draw. The thing is, the Soviets are going to draw because there's one area C still left in there as well. Yeah, okay. The worry is that any political success that the others draw is probably going to remove the one from Hungary again, isn't it? I think, yeah, it's a bit annoying knowing that we need that. We need somebody to join us to actually win the scenario. Eh? Okay, the UK is going to spend 5 as well then, and just draw one out of the cup then. I'll come back down here and we'll draw something. And we draw, yeah, political success. So there we are again. So, well, why don't they, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I can take, or can I do that? Am I allowed to take that pro-axis marker away then? Select any neutral country that has a friendly pro-faction marker. Oh no, you can't. How was I able to take that one away that last time? Did I do that right? Have I done that wrong? Right, hang on then, Grant, because if I have done that wrong, then maybe that would be the second one for us and done Hungary. Because I'm looking at political success. Select a neutral country that has no pro-faction marker in it. Or select any neutral country that has a friendly pro-faction marker in it. Oh no, it's there, it's the last one. Select any neutral country that has an enemy pro-faction or strict neutrality marker in it and remove that marker. Yeah. So this could just remove that again. Or we could try and get Spain. The thing is, Spain needs 3 as well, doesn't it? I don't know if there's anybody else that you would really want to go and try and get, is there? Yeah, it just seems a bit silly going back and forth, removing this and putting it on again, but yeah, I think that's what they're going to do though. It does seem to be the right thing to do, isn't it? So this pro-axis marker, that just gets removed. That's that done again. Okay, well, I don't mind if it comes to the end of the game and we've done everything. You know, if the Axis have managed to take France, take all the things, and they didn't get anybody to join with them, then I suppose that isn't quite a success. But it's just to see how things play out anyway. And if it was playing the main game, I suppose for the Allies there, I possibly would have tried to get Spain involved on their side. But because of this, the way the scenario is, so I don't know if that seems a bit gamey, but anyway, we'll go with that. The Soviets will draw one because there's only one area seized marker in there, so there's not going to be much left. So they draw a no event. Right, so in the cup for the next time, there's going to be 1 political success, 1 political failure, 1 no event, 1 area seized. So that's not so great for the Axis. I don't know, what happens when you draw the failure then? Or does that sort of become a success for the Western faction, maybe? Something like that. The non-facing faction in applying this event must select 1 neutral country that shares a land border with an active country belonging to the facing faction. If the selected neutral country has no pro-faction marker in it, put a pro-faction marker. Not quite sure I'm understanding that. If it has a friendly pro-faction marker in it, that neutral country activates and joins the non-phasing faction. I mustn't be reading that right, because I think that to me says, let's just say that going by the new rules now, let's just say that Spain has 2 pro-Western markers on it, and I draw that as the axis, then I think that means that Spain could then get another pro-Western marker and activate. I think. I'll look a bit more into that come the time. But I don't know if the Germans are going to draw at that cup now. I think they're probably wanting to put one of the political successes back into the cup. But you see, they go first, so they go and do that, and then the Allies are like, the Western are like, oh, there's 2 political successes in there, let's draw one out. So it's a bit hit or miss, isn't it? It's good though, it's good fun, but I think maybe in this scenario, because we know we need to take something, maybe I'm not going to put too much on that though, because like I say, if we get to the end of the scenario and we haven't taken a country, then we can still just chalk that down to bad luck or whatever. Okay, so that's everybody done that. So what else is left? We're at the end of the turn, aren't we? I'm at 51 minutes, so that sounds about right. Nobody's won yet. Advance the turn marker. So what we got up here now? We've got another German unit, a full German unit. So we're moving it in December 1939. So that goes into the mobilisation box. I'm going to flip it over to its reduced side though, and put it in the mobilisation box. And then we're going to move all units from the limited box to the mobilisation box, but you can see there's nothing doing there. So that is going to be that. Okay. Right, well, probably not that much done there. But we're starting to get gathered to maybe move into Denmark. Obviously, I think, I don't know if we can go in poor weather if it works or not. Oh, we're going to need. Do we not get another air unit then? Because I can't move either of these 2 air units away, and I can't move either of these 2 units away. Okay. When do we get another? Is there an air unit? We get the 5th Luftwaffe in January. So next turn we get the 5th Luftwaffe. So that's what that's all about. So I think we really need to wait to be able to get that before we can probably go in Denmark. Oh yeah, because in the training scenario you drop the, what is it, the airdrop, don't you? You need an aircraft for that as well. Okay, so there's a bit of time to sort of get things set up. So yeah, next couple of turns. Well, next turn anyway is probably going to be a bit of nothing as well, isn't it? Right, okay, I'll leave it at that for now, and then be back with the next turn sometime soon. Okay, cheers.